some major news regarding Alanna Smith and her potential signing with the Indiana Fever. This is massive news. And if you guys are new to the channel and enjoy this, subscribe. We are trying to hit 58,050 subscribers by the end of the day. And this right here. So what we have here is a situation where, like, Alanna Smith is one of the top free agents as I'm not going to say even a tertiary option, as like a fifth option. And she's somebody who is a decoy, who some people were thinking was going to command close to $1 million. And the thing is that if her team is like currently trying to sign NECA, there's no way she's coming back. There's no way she's coming back. And the thing is, the reason why I'm so high on the Fever is that one of the teams she's taking a meeting with has less money in a lesser role and fits her worse than the Indiana Fever. And she is currently taking a meeting with, or she's currently checking in with the New York Liberty. The New York Liberty, first of all, she's not going to sign for the New York Liberty. I cannot stress that enough. Clearly, the way she's talking, she wants to get paid. But if the New York Liberty are even contacting Alanna Smith, do you want to know what that means? It means her price range is in the 600, 700K max range. And I mean max range. Like, the New York Liberty are bringing back John Quell. They're bringing back Stewie. They're bringing back Breanna on a supermax. They don't have the money to offer anything more than that. They have the advantage of Raquel Carrera, Han Zhu, Benijah Laney Hamilton on a bargain deal. They have all of those advantages. The likelihood is that they're going to, if Alanna Smith comes, she wouldn't even be starting. Because I think everybody knows they're going to the Liberty next season are going to start the 2024 championship starting five. Benijah Laney Hamilton is going to be in there at the 2 or at the 3. Phoebe is going to be playing the 2. Breanna is going to be back to the 1. And people being like, we need to find what the perfect backcourt partner for Breanna is. The perfect backcourt partner is already there. It's the team that won the championship. And then John Quell and Stewie. They're running back their 2024 team. And then their bench is going to be quite new because they're able to get Marine on a minimum. They're able to get Raquel Carrera on a minimum. They're able to get Han Zhu on a minimum. So, like, Han Zhu is better than Yara Sabally. And if you're looking at Alanna Smith, she comes in as, a 18-minute per game bench player in New York. She walks in as a starter in Indiana. She walks in as a starter in, I'm going to be honest, she walks in as a starter in Indiana. She walks in as a starter in, potentially in Phoenix at that price. She walks in, like, we're looking at contending teams. Maybe Golden State. The Valks is an interesting one. If she really wants to get paid, go play for a national team coach in Sandy Brondello. So there are options. And I'm not saying that it is it realistically is a done deal she's going to the Fever, or the Fever even want her. But what I said yesterday is a lot of people said the Fever aren't even in the sweepstakes for Alanna Smith, and the reason they're not in the sweepstakes for Alanna Smith is because she's going to cost them too much and they can't afford her. If the Liberty are even contemplating bringing in Alanna Smith, who have 3 players on max contracts, by the way, the Indiana Fever with 2 on a max contract and Caitlin Clark making under league average, the fact is that Lexi Hull and Sophie Cunningham are going to take hometown discounts. How much? I don't know. Like, based on what we're seeing, the rumors and what the movement we're seeing, Lexi Hull is not going to be commanding more than $500,000 in the open market. Not only that, she will take less to play with the Fever. Again, players like Lexi and Sophie will take 200K pay cuts to stay with the Fever. If somebody was offering them a max contract, or was offering them an 800K contract for 4 to 5 years versus 300K with the Fever, then you start to question it. But on a 1-year deal, like, I know Sophie says she wants a long-term money, but like, maybe Sophie, Caitlin, or maybe Sophie, Kelsey, and all these players, they front load their contracts. You go to Sophie, you give them the max that you can get, but it's front loaded so that Sophie, Caitlin, or Sophie, Lexi, and Kelsey, next year they take a cut to whatever their money is that coincides with the additional money that Caitlin Clark's going to be getting, and Caitlin might take a 200K pay cut then. That I see that happening. Like, I can see players taking small hometown discounts, but this Alanna Smith one is a really interesting one, because what does it mean? It means the value for Alanna Smith monetarily is not as high as we thought. I said 0% is even taking this meeting if she's looking for more than 600k. Surely the Fever are in the mix for this too. That is at that price. At that price. And the thing with Dallas is, it looks like Dallas are looking at Diarca Hamby. We're hearing that the Dallas were meeting in Unrivaled with Diarca Hamby. And by the way, I mean this when I say this. People are like, oh, X and Y and Z team are going to pay players under the table. Yes, I mean this. So will the Fever. Every single team potentially is going to be paying players under the table still. If players were getting paid if one team is paying players under the table, every team is. I mean that. Every single team will be. But yeah, it is. This is a really interesting thing. This is a really, really interesting thing. It's finally we got some scoop. Shout out Madeline Kenny. Shout out what's she working with New York Liberty. Shout out somebody who says something. But for me, I don't think, first of all, if it becomes a bid off, the Fever can offer a bigger role and more money in the New York Liberty for Alanna Smith. And fuck it, like, I don't really care about the enforcer bullshit. Go sign Maisha Hines-Allen and no one would mess with Caitlin Clark. If we're being real, go sign if you want to make sure no one messes with Caitlin Clark for less money than Sophie Cunningham. Go sign MHA. Go bring Kennedy Carter back. Heck, fuck it, Liz Cambridge might come back now. Like, if that's the biggest deal in the world. But Alanna Smith is so much better than both Lexi Hull and Sophie Cunningham as a basketball player, that if they're not at least contemplating bringing in Alanna Smith, and to say, oh, Alanna Smith would never go back to Indiana, like, you do realize that that franchise was completely incompetent, right, at one point, and she chose to sign for the Sky. Like, the Indiana Fever of then is very different than the Fever of now. But yeah, that is pretty much it, lads. I think this is an interesting one. Look, I don't think that they have the money. I don't think the Liberty have the money, if we're being real, to get Alanna Smith. I think they're just testing the waters. I think they'd be stupid not to try. I think they would be stupid not to try getting Alanna Smith. That being said, like, they're not going to be able to afford her. They're absolutely not going to be able to afford her at all. And yeah, it is a big one here. And I think this is an important thing that we know now. The Indiana Fever, like, absolutely can afford it. Like, they can afford Alanna Smith. So if we hear the Fever aren't even in for Alanna Smith, fucking hell, they've done a bad job. But now that we know Alanna Smith is in the price range for the Fever, especially because we're seeing Azare in Chicago, which means realistically the Fever can outbid the Chicago Sky on a player. If she is going to the Liberty, and that's the type of team she's looking for, which means she might be looking for a contender to take a little bit less money. I mean this. If the Fever are not at least trying to outbid the Liberty, and the Fever get outbid by the Liberty, they're just not serious about winning. Alanna Smith was the best plus-minus player on the best team in basketball 2 years ago. Alanna Smith swatted Stewie for the championship. If it wasn't for bullshit from the referees, Alanna Smith is 18 months removed from a championship-winning block. Alanna Smith won on rival championship. Doesn't really matter. Alanna Smith won a deep boy. Alanna Smith can shoot the ball. Can't really shoot free throws, but does everything else well on the floor. If the Fever don't go for Alanna Smith, they're crazy. But at least now we know that the Fever can afford her. The Fever can afford her. That's a big thing. If I hear we paid $850K to Natasha Howard, I am straight away I'm just going to put it out there. The Fever aren't winning a championship running it back. They're just not. Like, they're going to be good. Don't get it twisted. The Fever are going to be good. They will not win a championship running it back. You can say that right. You can quote me on that right now. You can record this clip. If the Fever run it back with the same starting five as last year, they will not win a championship. And I mean that.